Yeah, I think I always used to feel a bit nervous sometimes, or I had that almost imposter syndrome.
Yes.
And would have moments of going, oh, my.
Can I do this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we don't have any scenes together so far, but she's actually living with me in my apartment, which is definitely interesting. I came back from a little vacation and like all of the rugs had moved. There were like little new flower pots and kitchen things, and I was like, okay.
Demi Moore, who made a rare appearance with all three of her daughters at the Vanity Fair's Oscars party on Sunday.
It's everything. It really is.
Rumor, Tallulah and Scout Willis posing alongside their mama before heading inside the
Demi, who made a rare appearance with all three of her daughters at the Vanity Fair's Oscars party on Sunday. It's everything it really is. Rumor, Tallulah and Scout Willis posing alongside their mama before heading inside the event. Wait, did Demi Moore's daughter just call her out for being tied to P. Diddy and Ashton Kutcher's wild parties? Y'all, the tea is piping hot as she spills some shocking details about her mom's alleged involvement in these infamous Hollywood events. Are we uncovering some deep, dark secrets? Or is this just another messy family feud playing out in public? Stick around, because we're breaking it all down, and trust me, you don't want to miss this one. Well, as y'all might already know, Demi is a huge superstar in Hollywood. And when I say huge, I mean Mies star. She is an outstanding actress who has dominated the acting scene since the 90s. She has won many accolades, including the highly coveted Golden Globes Award and an Emmy as well, just to mention a few.
Demi Moore is still sizzling. Last night's Golden Globes far from her first charade. In the last 4 decades, she starred in endless box office hits from 1985's St. Elmo's Fire
How come you never made a pass at me?
to 1997's G.I.
Demi has been married 3 times in her life, with her second husband being the action film legend Bruce Willis. And the two were blessed with 3 daughters: Rumor, Willis Scout, LaRue Willis, and Tallulah Willis. The two broke up back in 2000, but they remained good co-parents, putting their children's needs first.
Get pregnant in just 4 months, and then the next 10 years together are a blur of rearing 3 daughters, making 33 movies, and drifting toward divorce, determined to put their children first.
Demi met Ashton Kutcher a few years afterwards at a dinner party in 2003. And it wasn't long before the two actors started seeing each other. This caused a major storm in Hollywood, with the couple hitting all the major tabloids in an instant. Why, you may ask? Well, get this, Demi and Kutcher had a huge age difference between them. Yep, Demi was 15 years older than Ashton, and everyone could not just overlook this.
So shocked, unnerved, unsettled by a woman who is 15 years older.
Gosh, I don't know. It's so silly.
Their relationship was shrouded with loads of judgment, with critics commenting that it was inappropriate for Demi to be dating such a younger man. Well, Demi has always seemed to fancy men way younger than her, even later on ending up dating Sean Friday, who was 24 years younger, and Daniel Hum, who was also 15 years younger than her. So she was just doing what she was used to, cougar much, if you ask me. Despite all the judgment Demi and Ashton were facing, they kept seeing each other without caring what anyone thought. Demi opened up that she felt safe with Ashton, and he didn't seem to be bothered about her ex-husband and all that stuff in the past, and that he also loved her children dearly. The two got hitched 2 years after they met, completely ignoring all the backlash they received.
I was safe. I had money. He loved my children. It wasn't something he feared. He seemed to be comfortable with the enormity of the ex-husband. I mean, I felt like I was not coming with baggage. I had trunks.
So here's the gist. Demi might have not given a damn about what the world thought about her relationship with Ashton, but her daughters were no doubt affected by this crazy dynamic. Their mom had shoved them into rumor. Willis candidly opened up about how her mother's life and choices affected her on Jada Pinkett Smith's Red Table. And this was one episode you couldn't afford to miss.
Demi Moore and her daughters come to the Red Table to talk about the pain passed down from parent to child. Welcome to me, Rumor and Tallulah.
Thank you. This is such a nice treat.
Rumor revealed that her self-esteem was greatly damaged by the poor image her mother had about herself. Demi Moore was going through a lot of struggles in her marriage, dealing with anxiety addiction and depression, which rumor admitted affected her own self-image. She went on to say that she felt unloved no matter what she did, no matter how much she kinked up her appearance. It seems Demi was fighting her own demons, and she couldn't help but rub off that trauma to her dear daughters.
Reflected in how you feel about yourself as the mother, your kid is gonna pick up on that, you know, and not be able to necessarily take in, oh, I'm so amazing because my mom says I'm amazing.
Right.
If my mom doesn't love herself, like how can I do that?
How can I expect her to love her?
Like unworthiness, like I'm innately unlovable somehow, no matter how I look, what I weigh, like how my hair looks, whatever the outside reflection is, there's something innately about me that I have to earn love from people and like constantly prove myself.
Tula Willis also opened up about how her mother's life affected her immensely, expressing that Demi trying to hide stuff about her past and her personal life only drove a wedge between them. Even further, she explained how all this influenced her choices, as well with her getting hooked on alcohol. By the age of 15, Tula struggled with addiction, just like Demi, for the better part of her life. But her family stepped in and all became fully involved in trying to sober her up. She ended up moving in with Demi, where she tried to shape up and seek help by going to therapy.
Like my mom made a choice to hold back certain things from like sharing about her past, and I think that always made me feel very far away from her, and it always made me feel like I didn't know her very well.
And that's not all rumor revealed about her mom. In an interview with Howard Stern, she opened up about Demi's relationship with Ashton Kutcher. She insinuated that Demi had a track record with young men, saying that Ashton was just one of many on her wall. The craziest part is that she also had a huge crush on Ashton Kutcher, growing up filling her room with posters of the actor. She admits it was definitely weird when her mom began seeing him, saying that she then had to cross Kutcher off her fantasy list.
I knew your mom, when she was with Ashton. But the thing was, you used to have posters of Ashton.
Totally did.
Like he's a hot looking dude. I mean,
he was one of many on the wall, but
Right.
he was up there. Hey,
Was that not the weirdest thing for you?
It was definitely weird for a minute, but I have to commend him, and he was a really great stepfather, and really, the perspective shifted very quickly.
Did you
take down the picture?
like how long do you wait before you take down the poster?
However, apart from shock and surprise, rumor expressed a bit of admiration for her mom, saying that she was a bit impressed that Demi could bag a handsome young man such as Kutcher. But although she never really admitted fully the implications of the marriage, it is clear their relationship suffered a major blow because of Ashton rumor, and Ashton, however, remained good friends even after his divorce to her mom and new marriage to Mila Kunis.
Did you mistrust the relationship at first between your mother and Ashton because you say to yourself, well, this is just not going to work. There's no way. I'm being protective of my mother. Do you think to yourself, I've got to stop this?
No, I feel like I was kind of impressed. I was like, yeah, girl, get it. All right.
Really?
Now y'all know Ashton is no stranger to controversy. Not at all. It looks like the actor is always getting caught up in the middle of insane scandals, leaving everyone speculating if he truly is a bad guy. It's no news that Ashton had a really close relationship with Puff. Daddy often pictured together having mad fun at extravagant parties. In a number of interviews, Ashton reveals that he has attended a lot of the Diddy parties, even co-hosting one of the infamous Diddy all-white parties right alongside Diddy. In an interview with Hot Ones, he talks about the various Diddy parties he had attended, refusing to divulge the full details of what actually went down in the popular parties. And y'all know this had the public racking their brains, wondering what he was trying to cover up.
Stories, they're our favorite genre of anecdote, if you have one, yeah.
Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, I can't tell that one either. I'm actually cycling through them.
Well, as you might have guessed, Ashton is now facing major scrutiny and backlash for his close friendship with Puff in the dawn of his incarceration. We all know what went down in these faux parties. Some really diabolical stuff, ranging from human to saw and CA and sins. Ashton was a huge part of these parties. a lot of people failed to believe that Ashton had no idea about all the crimes that were casually tolerated in the fosse.
Diddy has said this. He said, when I give a party, I have to have an ambulance outside of the house. Paramedics ready.
It's not looking good for Ashton, with many critics speculating that he might be the next celebrity in line to be hit with a subpoena due to their association with poop. Demi Moore is also not catching any slack, as she was married to Ashton when all these faux parties were going down. Did she truly have no idea about what her ex was up to? Did she have no knowledge of the nastiness that went on there? Or she just chose to turn a blind eye on all of that stuff? Demi is definitely in for a ride it. Looks like Ashton is not catching a break, as more drama keeps on hitting his doorstep from all directions. Recently, an old video resurfaced online that has people judging Ashton's moves even more. In the video, the young actress Demi Chase seems to be having a conversation with Ashton just after she had won an award at the MTV Music Awards. Diddy interrupts the two, congratulates Demi, and invites her to attend his famous after party. After the award show, Demi agrees, and Puff is visibly ecstatic.
Good, you're doing so good.
I just want to say, everyone will suffer.
An after party tonight.
Yeah. Now a lot of y'all are wondering what the issue with this as well. The wildest part about all this is that Demi was only about 13 years old at the time. Why would an adult invite a young one to a party where a lot of R-rated stuff happens? And why did Kutcher just stand there next to Demi, smiling without saying a single thing or calling out Diddy? That's a huge red flag, they're not going to lie, even though we are not really sure if Demi attended the party or not. All this is just too suspicious and coincidental. And the fact that Demi disappeared from the limelight shortly after this just adds more suspicion to Ashton, and Diddy Ashton might start picking his friends right from now on, as he is in some hot soup. Because of them, the plot just keeps getting wilder and wilder. Demi has always been quite open about her struggles growing up and her strained relationship with her mom, which she attaches most of her adult problems to. She bravely came out and revealed that she had faced CA in the hands of her mother, who basically pimped her out when she was only 15 years old. Sad indeed.
She writes, it was and a devastating betrayal, revealed by the man's cruel question. How does it feel to be whored by your mother for $500?
Well, in the wake of all this, Demi and Ashton decided to start Thorn in 2009, an organization established to fight human exploitation and save young ones. The couple were apparently watching a documentary that highlighted the plight of youngins who were being exploited, and this pushed them to try and make a difference in the world by fighting against these heinous acts. But here's where things get complicated. In the dawn of Diddy's diabolical deeds, people started pointing fingers towards the credibility of the organization because of Ashton's association with Puff. Yep, the crowd wasn't having it at all, visibly enraged by Kutcher, who is now under great scrutiny for his friendship with Diddy. But can you really blame them? Demi and Kutcher's hearts might have been in the right place, but their whole philanthropic move is now tainted by their association to Diddy. The scrutiny and backlash got even more heated, finally, leading to Ashton stepping down as the board chair of the organization. The double standards were too many, coupled up with the whole Danny Masterson shebang, where a letter that Ashton and Mila Kunis had written to a judge surfaced, defending their pal Danny for his alleged grave crimes. These two later publicly apologized for the letter, stating their intentions weren't to ridicule the victims. The drama was all too much, the association to exploiters a bit too close to home, painting a terrible picture for both Ashton and Demi and their organization.
Faces the maximum sentence, but now his former co-stars are also paying the price for supporting him.
We are aware of the pain that has been caused by the character letters that we wrote on behalf of Danny Masterson.
It's complicated. Kutcher wants Masterson to be found innocent of the charges brought against him, but at the same time doesn't want his friend to get off the hook. Quote, I wholesale feel for anybody who feels like they were violated.
Despite all these major scandals that Demi has been caught up in, she hasn't shied away from sharing her experience in her marriage with Ashton. She gives an account about how she was deeply in love with Kutcher, infatuated by him, up to a point that it turned into a full-on addiction. She was willing to do anything for her man, and she paid a dear price for that.
I really lost sight of everything that was right in front of me, which is the family I had. And I think the weight that it put on Ashton, it's kind of a natural thing to pull back when somebody's, clinging too tight.
Demi elaborates how she was willingly trying to keep up with her young husband, trying to be all that for him. She says that Ashton was all about the party life, and she unfortunately found herself bending her sobriety rules and falling back into alcohol addiction after she started drinking. Again for him, she also opens up about Ashton asking her for threesomes, which she agreed to, but later on ended regretting that decision.
He expressed something that was of a fantasy, and it was in my efforts to want to please and be what I thought he wanted.
Right. Well, Ashton was truly in his young party days, and Demi simply couldn't keep up with him. It wasn't long before rumors started flying around about Ashton being unfaithful to Demi. Not once, but a multiple number of times. The couple finally called it quits in 2011, getting the inevitable divorce that we could see coming from a mile away.
If it was true. And he admitted it right away. And I think my response was, are you?
Demi explains all her struggles explicitly in her book titled Inside Out, which is a step towards her healing from her crazy past. It is evident that a parent life choices have a direct impact on their child's well-being, because the same way Demi ended up messed up because of her mom is the exact same turn her daughter's lives took because of her actions. It's basically all like dominoes, with that first domino falling over, setting off a chain reaction that could affect many more generations to come.
It being my story didn't always allow for the context of, say, things that created the pain they had, of when they weren't speaking to me, for me to share. It was truly honest about what my experience was.
So what are your thoughts on this massive debacle? Do you believe Demi was involved in the Diddy Foss? Did she witness any of the heinous acts that allegedly went down in the parties Ashton and Diddy hosted? Leave your comments down below. Also stay tuned for our next video, where we shall be dishing out more of Hollywood's drama to you can't afford to miss.